This episode of the Damage Guild podcast is sponsored by listeners like you. Join the guild at patreon.com/damageguild to receive exclusive perks, member rewards, and bonus content.
Previously on the Damage Guild podcast.
I'm gonna head for Shabba.
As soon as you take a few steps past him, you can hear again. You can hear rustling in the webs.
I charge up the frost gauntlets and...
The webs are crackling and covered with ice. The drake dives down, grabs Shabba, and starts flying away.
I have cast jump on myself and launch myself into the night. Let's bring it to the ground.
The three of you go corkscrewing down to the ground.
Stripey attacks 11 damage this time.
Stripey has stolen another kill.
Oh, kill stealer extraordinaire!
You go over to the center of the web and you kick something invisible on the ground.
He's here.
You do find the crown safe and secure.
The most disturbing thing of all is how did they find us? We teleported to another continent, we went into the wilderness, and they pinpointed our exact location. How did they do it?
It could have been related to the dream. Remember how I thought that... Hang on. And I look around and make sure the guards aren't really paying too much attention. Guys, remember how I thought that it was maybe... Sharagoth. That, like, entered my dream? Like, the dream world? Like, pulled me into a dream? Like, what if that was what your dream was like, Azlo?
It has to be. There's no other explanation.
There's no other way. The only other thing I can think of is that the enemy has eyes and ears everywhere. And there were spies for the cult in some of the towns we passed through, and they spotted us and gave our description to the cult and said, oh, they're traveling with this big caravan, it's this many people, they're traveling in this direction, they left on this date.
But we don't think the cult really has a big foothold in Marengar. The cult is...
Yeah, not that we know of.
Eltharadian.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to cut this vacation short, right? I mean, our whole mission was like a side mission that would let us
to get the crown as far away as possible.
Yeah, it wasn't just to get Felmandar, it was also to protect the crown.
Yeah, that's true, and that's not working.
And we're not doing that.
Wow. Oh, man.
Can we loot the rest of his invisible body for invisible goodies?
Yes,
yeah.
let's do that.
Sure.
This guy's got to be carrying some gold, right? I mean, he's like a magical... Drake riding wizard of awesome. Like, those guys don't carry chump change, right? I mean,
gold coins, purse of coins makes noise if you're going out to assassinate someone.
It's true.
He's got his studded leather armor, and he has another potion on him, which, Tokas, with your skill, you can immediately identify.
I'm gonna stick my finger in there, and I'm just kidding. I just have to hold it, right? And I can ID it.
Yeah, it's a potion of greater healing, so 4d4 plus 4.
Oof.
Which you never got the chance to use.
Mark that on your character sheet, please, Tokas. What is the studded leather armor detecting as magically wise?
Not.
Okay. Just making sure. Tokas, mark your studded leather armor on your character sheet, please. You now have a suit of studded leather armor to wear as a pajamas.
Didn't we need to get Brian's studded leather?
Brian, here's studded leather armor. Tokas, here's your new leather armor that Azlo is just wearing.
What am I wearing?
Mark it on your character sheet. These are your new pajamas.
You're probably going to want to get them resized a little bit because, they're human-sized.
I am wearing studded leather.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'll grab the studded leather.
Yeah, and get somebody to resize it. But the important thing is you're not sleeping with that armor on anymore.
Yeah.
Never make that mistake again.
So this means every time before bed, he takes off his plate armor, puts on his studded leather.
And puts on his nice, comfy, studded leather.
Wakes up, takes off his studded leather armor, puts on his plate.
Hey, when you have the life of an adventurer, man, there are no creature comforts.
Right.
You gotta deal with it. Deal with the hardships. That's why they pay us the big bucks, right?
When he eats lunch, he takes off his daytime armor and puts on his lunch armor. It's just what you got to do to survive, you know?
When he lounges about the house, he puts on his lounging armor. When he bathes, he puts on his bathing armor.
Swimsuit armor.
Yep.
just an armored bathing suit. Except it's like the old ones where like the men would wear like the whole body suit with the shoulder straps. Yeah.
I was thinking of like one of those like old-timey nautical like diving suits.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
But then when you said the lunch armor, I thought of like a plate armor that has like a bib built into it.
That has literally a plate of just fruit. Like
It's just like just a plate on my chest.
yeah.
Plate armor for all the plates of dishes.
All
yeah.
the plates of food, yeah.
And then it just rotates around your collar, so you have like first course and second course, and like every plate just spins.
Man.
We're going to see some fan art of that. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a super awesome potion that he didn't drink to save himself.
We never had the chance.
Yeah. He drank the invisibility.
So we really did blast him.
The first rhymes was actually enough to kill him.
Wow.
It was close.
Wow.
It was close, but it did.
But we weren't sure. It didn't seem like it.
We didn't think because of the silence, yeah.
He was wise to drink the invisibility first.
To be fair, I was still rolling death saves for him, but then you just kept on damaging him and was like, okay, he's dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we didn't know he was dead, Thane. He didn't cry out in agony.
In pain. Yeah.
Like, he was a very silent, like, dying man.
He was silent but deadly. I mean, he was silent but dead.
Yes. They're, like, super trained. The fact that he wasn't, like, crying out in his, like, last breaths or anything. He was just taking it like a champ.
One of these cultish assassins. Oh, yeah.
That was the most annoying retrieval of the crown yet.
Yeah, for sure. More annoying than fighting a flesh golem.
Can we just, like, staple it, like nail it into your head?
Yes.
My skull.
Just, like, glue it to you?
Just like, put some screws in there, right into the skull, you know?
You've already super glued the gauntlets onto your hands. I mean, we can find a similarly permanent solution for the crown.
There are places in the human cranium, I don't know if this is true for halflings, but there are places where you could, like no, seriously, like a nail or screw could go into your head and you're still fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, let's start experimenting.
Only one way to find out.
We just need to, like, weave it, like, knit it into your cloak or something. I don't know.
That's true.
Just make it harder.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or just, like, make some straps, like some chin straps to it. No, seriously, that like, let's get some, like, leather
strap, yeah.
and just, like, chin strap it so at least they have to, like, cut.
Right. You have to try and take it off.
Pluck it off.
I'm not. You guys think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. Like, we should,
No,
like.
that's
like,
actually a great idea.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Or like a chain maybe that goes around the back and then attaches to my armor or something.
Yeah, I mean, like the old football helmets had those like leather things that came down with like a little chin thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
This is our friend Azlo. He's a little bit special. He's just a special halfling.
it'll look like you're just wearing a helmet. Just like
It's just attached to this just tiny little like thin metal circlet. And just like these big chunky like leather straps with like steel girding on them.
we're just like, listen, we've lost this thing too many times, like twice. We've lost it, and so we just need to make sure.
Yes, I fully agree. Because since it's Azlo that has to wear it.
I'm going to vote for like a full head brace, the kind that's like attached with like metal, rods that go up to the thing down to my armor.
Like for braces, like the old braces.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just can't turn your head.
We should just build like a vault that just encases the crown fully and just sits on top of your head around it. And like the only way it's like a chastity belt, but for your head, and the only way to unlock it is with a key.
Well, Tokas starts drafting up plans for something to keep it on your head. This is the last straw.
Okay, thank you.
We're not taking this anymore. Time to do something about it.
I'm worried we're going to forget this, and then it's going to get lost a third time.
Oh my gosh.
It's clear that we're in the cult's radar, and they want that crown.
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
They're sending, like, their best after us.
Well, that's what I was going to ask next. Like, why did they not send more forces after us? Is it just that these happen to be the only ones that are local, like this guy?
Well, because they wanted... Well, we don't know how many of these flying creatures they have.
Yeah, how many riders? This could be like one of 30 riders, and this particular rider found us.
Yeah, by the way, can we get some input from the Brain Trust? Can we, like, get everybody in the caravan to look at this thing and see if anybody knows more about it? Can we make nature checks now that we've physically ID'd it to see if we have any idea what it might be?
The Drake?
Sure, give me your checks.
Nature.
I'm actually pretty good at this kind of a check. That is a 17 plus 7.
Oh, wow. You did a lot better than I did. I got yeah, you're in.
Not that good.
I'm 11.
24 total for Tokas.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Tokas, your alchemist knowledge as well as your arcana are all contributing to this one check. So it looks as though this creature was not a natural being. It was somehow created this way.
Is it like a chimera?
Maybe similar in concept, but it seems like this was somehow magically created and then further enhanced through magic to gain all of its sort of shadowy properties and things like it. This species would have been created, and then this particular model of it would have been enchanted with darkness somehow.
Like those velociraptors in the Jurassic Park movie that came out a few years ago. They were like trained as like military weapons.
So it's somehow magically or alchemically created being that has been further enhanced with magic, but there might be a whole collection of these,
Oh my
a
goodness.
whole race of these beings out there now.
Wow. Because they're able to reproduce. Because sometimes when you make a magical being or a chimera, it can't reproduce.
I mean, you wouldn't know for sure, but you think so.
Wow, guys. I mean, this is... So Tokas is sharing his findings. This is amazing. Like, I wish it was still alive. Man, I mean, I don't wish it was still alive.
It's going to be one of those things on your Tokas's farm for misunderstood evil creatures.
Yep.
Where you and your Sahuagin wife raised them.
You're going to be the Hagrid of this world.
Yep.
You're just wishing that it could have taken Stripey's place. Right?
So, is there anything... Could we, like, go... Speaking of Monster Hunter, could we, like, those other guys we met, those guys were able to, like, properly skin and take apart creatures, like... What's the situation with this thing?
Hello? Ranger in the party.
Yeah, if only we had somebody that has years of experience of gutting and skinning animals.
Right.
Yeah.
Who has 2 thumbs, is 7 feet tall, and can gut you like a fish. That would be this guy.
Yeah, we want to take this thing apart.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely take off most of its scales. I mean, you did quite a bit of damage to it, but you can get some good scales and skin off of it.
I tell Oostrak, I'm sorry we're going to have to delay moving forward so that I can properly harvest this animal's best featand
And turn it into armor for Tokas.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
no, I don't think it's armor for me. Like, this is... Like, okay, every RPG I've ever played, and you guys know that I actually don't have a background in D&D, but it's like when it comes to dragon scales, there's a variety of armors it's usually for, and this one seems to have, like, stealthy, shadowy components.
Properties.
I mean, this could make really cool armor for one of you two, maybe.
Fair enough.
That's true.
Like, shadow leather? Come on, guys.
I've
like,
been known to be pretty stealthy in my time, but
shadow scale leather?
sure.
The armor is, or the scales rather, are definitely sturdy. They're not as strong as you think, real dragon scale would be or anything, but it would be something.
Okay.
So you can maybe work with it.
So that's an option.
Yeah, you can make like a dragon scale mail or something. Yeah, we definitely should harvest this.
Now, the bite. Can Tokas determine whether there is any venom involved?
You're probably the most familiar with this sensation out of everyone else. It seems like it was dealing necrotic damage to you. It was not doing any sort of poison. It just seems like the being itself had been enchanted to drain life force, perhaps similarly to the crystals,
Okay.
but more focused.
Okay. So then, yeah, I will rack it up just like I would any animal skin. I'll skin it.
You've got a few spare carts from the bandits that you still have in the caravan.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's use that.
Couldn't we like put the body on the cart and like keep going and like you just like work on the body and I'll pull the cart for you or something?
Well, you got horses too.
Hard to do while we're in motion.
We just don't want to get left behind over this.
Well, like I said, I just told Ustrak, I'm sorry, this is a rare creature. We're going to have to delay our moving forward for just a few hours so that I can prepare it.
Well, it's still the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do have the Dawn Watch, so I can spend my watch doing that.
There you go.
All right, well, I'm going to catch some Z's because I did use the armband. Oh, that's not even going to help me. That's right, because I wake up tired.
You're going to be exhausted.
And then...
Yeah.
Oh, man, this artifact sucks, and it's so powerful. It's a good drawback. It is.
You only used one, so you'll be fine the day after tomorrow.
Exactly.
Which should be when you're arriving, I believe. So yeah, you spend the rest of the night licking your wounds and skinning the drake, and you eventually put all of its hide and scales and stuff that you collect into one of the empty carts, just to hang there and dry.
Very nice.
And you set off once again in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
So we were 2 days away from town, right? You said it was 5 days travel, and then this was day 3?
This was the third night, so you'll arrive in 2 more days. And the next 2 days, you're constantly watching your backs, watching the skies, keeping on guard for any more attacks. But you don't have any further attacks. You don't have any further dreams.
Oh, that's nice.
And you arrive at your final destination, capital city of Tai'ver.
Wow.
Ooh,
We did it.
We finally made it.
Is this like a sprawling city, or...
Is there like big band music playing and it's like, welcome to Tai'ver as we go
They
in?
throw open the gates and doves go flying. And elephants go walking down the street
Like
towards us.
confetti coming down out of just the sky randomly.
Maybe that's what'll happen when Felmandar arrives.
Yeah, really.
What was that childhood?
He's got 95 white Persian monkeys. What? Sorry.
I was thinking of like a childhood cartoon of mine where it's like Hollywood, where the streets are paved with gold. What am I thinking of? Is that like Hercules or something?
Might be.
Maybe.
I mean, they don't talk about Hollywood there.
No, I know, but yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, is that how our entrance to Tai'ver goes? Actually, you're the DM. Why don't you tell us?
Oh, it's a novel idea.
Pretty sure there's no Hollywood in Hercules. At long last, your journey has brought you to Tai'ver, capital of Tai'ver and seat of the Council of Lords that govern most of the surrounding lands.
Yes. I feel like we won something, even though we just got to a place.
The last time Azlo was here, he was breaking out of the dungeons with the help of his dwarven friend Torgrin, and sneaking out over the city wall to avoid being recaptured by the guards.
Where is Torgrin these days?
Beats me. I haven't been here for months.
Yeah, you never talk about him.
Yeah, does he live around here? Maybe we should go hit him up.
That's a good question. Maybe Azlo should flesh out his backstory a little more so he knows whether or not Torgrin lives around here exactly.
Yeah, right?
But man, this place is bringing back some memories, I'll tell you what.
I bet.
So it's actually been nearly a year since you were last here. I looked through everything and counted up the months in your backstory.
Man, traumatic memories.
Wow.
So, nearly a year has passed since then, and while you've certainly grown as an adventurer and businessman in the meantime, you can't help but wonder if that will be enough. The city is heavily fortified, with stone walls that dwarf those of most of the other cities you've seen, towering some 80 feet in the air.
Whoa.
Yikes.
Large ballistae are visible on several of the towers aimed up and outward. And I looked it up. The plural is pronounced ballistae.
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 Ballista. I would think ballistae, because they can shoot you in the eye pretty easily, because they're super accurate. So that's how that's the mnemonic device for remembering it.
I was just going to have you explain to our listeners what a ballistae is, because I didn't know, but now we know.
You don't know ballista?
I know a ballista, I just didn't know. I thought you said philisti,
No.
and I was very confused.
Ballista, yeah. Anyone who's played Warcraft 2 knows what a ballista is.
That's for sure.
Yep.
So these guys have like a really exorbitant military budget to like have the walls lined with ballistae.
For sure.
Well, it's not like it's lined with it. It's just a few of the towers have it. Some defensive weaponry.
Yeah, but like where we come from, they don't even have one ballista.
Yeah, they can't even afford a single ballista.
You're also in probably one of the most peaceful lands in the known world at this point. At least, usually.
We are in currently, or that's where we came from?
Where you came from.
Okay, yeah.
I hear that's a manner of capital punishment around here. If you do something really bad, they just strap you to a ballista bolt and just fire you out into the wilderness.
Good luck.
The caravan pulls up to the city gate, where the soldiers stop you, and Ustrak steps forward to show his paperwork. While he's dealing with that, 2 other soldiers start moving down the line. One of them calls out, "All projectiles and blades longer than 6 inches must be checked at the gate unless you have a valid weapons permit bearing the seal of King Orleo or one of the ruling lords on the council. There will be no exceptions. Items will be returned upon your exit, provided you present a valid claim ticket, which you will be issued when you leave your item here. Those wishing to apply for a weapons permit may do so at the city offices and must present themselves before one of the council members to argue their case."
All right. Let's do that, guys.
Wait, can I take these 2 aside?
Yes.
So I'm a really weird and unique archetype. All right, subclass, Eldritch Knight,
I could have told you that.
and
Yeah, this is no obstacle for you.
well, no, I don't want my weapons to get checked in and then disappear because that'll be linked to me. I'd rather just not have weapons. Could I just wait? Couldn't I just? I was thinking about burying my weapons outside. But
there
what
you
if,
go.
What if I just put my weapons in the interdimensional space and just not plan to check them in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Even the rest of us could do that too, couldn't we?
Why could we not all just put them in the interdimensional satchel? Well, I mean, obviously, like, we're not going to just take them out, because if we get caught with them and they're not we're not licensed and they're not registered, then we're going to be in big trouble.
Well,
so, like, it would be emergencies only.
Yeah.
Big trubskis, but we just put them in there so that we don't have to deal with having them checked.
But like, just because of our physiques, wouldn't it be suspicious if we didn't check in any weapons? Like, I could check in my rapier, but keep the warhammer.
Yeah, good call.
We should check in some weaponry.
I'll put my bow in the bag and check my short sword.
Yeah.
Does your bow fit in the bag?
That's a good question.
Of course it does, Thane, if we believe hard enough.
I mean, an unstrung longbow is just a long staff, basically, right? I could unstring it.
So the bag has a maximum size of 18 inches by 12 inches by 6 inches. So your weapon has to be shorter than that in order to fit in the bag.
Oh, so it can't just slide into extra-dimensional space.
No, it's you put something inside and then you say the word and it transfers to another spot.
Okay, so it's literally like a briefcase.
Okay, so my warhammer's not going to fit either.
It's not a bag of holding, it is a satchel that can then transfer. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so that plan doesn't work.
Tokas, can't you bond to 2 different weapons now?
So I'm bonded to the rapier and I'm bonded to the warhammer. Are you saying we should take the time to bond me to Shabba's bow?
No. Oh, actually, I guess we could do that, couldn't we?
It takes an hour.
And then I could always fetch it for a shot. Actually, I never thought to do that. That's actually a really clever idea, because if we ever got separated from Jay's bow, which is one of our most important weapons, I could always reunite him with his bow with my ability.
Or if Jay is ever about to shoot you because he's angry, then you could just steal his bow
You
from
just
him.
be like, ha sucker. I don't know that I want to give you that kind of power, Tokas.
No. Shabba, you can trust me. We don't want to do this mission without one of our most powerful... Like, it is your character. It really is.
But do I really want to get caught with a weapon that's unregistered and go to jail?
Like you said, emergencies only.
Yeah. I think this is a great idea. And Brian, you still have a lot of character potential, even if you didn't have access to a weapon.
Yeah, exactly. Out of the 3 of us, I'm the one who needs my weapons the least. So I think that's a great idea. I think, Tokas, you bond to Shabba's bow and your warhammer.
So you're going to sit outside the gate for an hour while he does that?
We're going to go hang out. Yeah. Like,
In the
Yeah,
woods,
why not?
I guess.
And I mean, Azlo, you've done time in the clink. You know how to fashion a shiv. Just a makeshift weapon out of items at hand. You can probably sharpen your toothbrush or something.
That's true. I have shivved many an inmate before. No, I'll probably be fine without weapons. What did you say the size of the satchel was, Thane?
It's 18 by 12 by 6.
80. Okay, so a foot and a half by a foot by half a foot.
So, like, you can do, like, letter-sized paper.
You could fit a dagger in there, but probably nothing.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I have a couple of daggers. I could put those in there.
But you're allowed to keep daggers anyway, because if your blade's shorter than 6 inches, you don't have to register it.
I think daggers have longer than 6-inch blades most of the time, if it's actually a weapon.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'll put my daggers in the satchel and speak the command word, Badoosh. And
What about your hand crossbow? How big is that? That can't be that big.
That's a great question.
That should fit.
Hand crossbow probably fit.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do that too then. My short sword's probably not, though.
What about my shield? Do they want me to check in my shield, or is that considered armor?
Shield's fine. I think your short sword would be fine.
Halfling-sized short swords?
It would fit.
18 inches? You
Or
think?
actually, wait.
If it's halfling-sized.
18 to 12. I'm trying to do diagonal here.
Yeah, we don't want to tear the satchel over this.
That's true.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't really fit in there. Dagger and hand crossbow, I would say, are good.
Okay. That will mean being without Kingslayer for a while, but I'll guess I'll go ahead and check those at the door then.
Okay.
All right, so now, next question. Thane, are you keeping track of which weapons we check, or are we?
You should,
Okay.
because you know your weapons better than I do, so...
All right.
So, Jay, you going to give me that bow, and am I going to get really close and intimate with it, or...
Yep.
It's going to take a lot less than an hour for your caravan to get inside, so you're going to have to be left out here.
Yep, we're going to break from the caravan, I think, to do this.
Yeah. So, Shabba has checked his short sword. Tokas is going to check his warham, and Azlo is going to check
I want to have access to the warham, so we're going to bury it outside.
But you can only bond to 2 weapons, right?
Yeah.
So you'd rather have access to the warham than the rapier?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to check your rapier then?
I'm going to check the rapier, and
Okay.
I want to...
Baggage check.
You're like a ranger or something, right, Shabba?
Something like that.
I really want these weapons that we're going to hide outside the city, well hidden. We don't want somebody to just, happen upon your bow or my hammer.
Right. I'll track them. We can hide them really well. We'll bury them in a deep hole, and I will track them down when we're done.
Well, that's why I was thinking to check anything that we're not bringing in, even if you are going to bond to it and in an emergency bring it to you, Tokas. That way it's not, out in the woods somewhere where someone can just stumble upon it and find it. This way it's checked, it's known where it is.
Yeah, but if we need to use it in an emergency, they're going to see that the weapon has disappeared, and a checked-in weapon has now disappeared.
But how do they know that you have it? Wouldn't they just suspect that it's been stolen by someone?
I don't necessarily want to rally the town guardsmen over missing weapons.
Yeah.
They'll be on high alert, somebody's pilfered the armory or wherever they stock these checked-in weapons.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we should hide them. That's my thought. But I see your point, though, Brian. But I think it'd be better.
Yeah, we should hide the two weapons that you can bond to. We should
Yeah.
hide. The rest we should check in.
Okay.
Or put in the satchel like you've done. All right, so I have the list. So it's my short sword, Tokas' rapier, and Azlo's short sword and Kingslayer.
Yep.
That's everything, right? Okay. All right, and so we're going to bury my bow of bolts and
The warham.
Tokas' warham.
I mean, if Kingslayer's worth it, I could bond to Kingslayer, but then I wouldn't have any weapon. But we would have Kingslayer for Brian.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Or for you, because you can both use it.
Yeah, that's something, we want to have access to our best. If we don't have access to our best, maybe I should bond to Kingslayer in this weird scenario. It's not that big a deal to do an unbonding later on in the campaign to switch out what's bonded if we have the time to do so. It might make sense for this adventure for us to have our 2 best weapons, which is Kingslayer and the bow.
Well, I've been realizing lately that as we have leveled up, Azlo's meager damage output has gotten even more meager.
Even meager.
Yeah, the meagerest of the meagerer. And so I would not worry about it. I think you and Shabba are our damage dealers. As we've gotten higher levels, I've become much more of a just support healing kind of person. So don't worry about me.
And spellcaster.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean,
spellcaster, area control, etc.
You have our highest damage attack.
Well, that's true, but it's a spell. It's not with my swords. So
Right.
So do the warham and the bow.
Well, but just hear me out. Kingslayer is a stronger weapon than the warhammer.
Is it really?
Yeah. Doesn't that make it better?
I mean, it's marginally better, yeah.
It's only a d6 damage, and
It's
then
a
if I've cast a
D6.
spell, then it's +1 to hit and damage.
Yeah, so if Azlo pulls out a dagger, he's got D4. If he uses a short sword, it's D6. It's the possible +1. But the whole reason you have the warhammer is for alternate damage types in case they're needed, right?
That's true.
Okay, so Tokas is going to break off as these guards are coming down the line and just ride off into the woods.
All three of us will. We'll excuse ourselves to Ustrak and say, hey, we'll meet you inside. We have to poop. And he's like, all three of you? And we're like, all three of us. Yep.
And Stripey nods his head.
And Stripey too. And we'll see you in town.
I think we also buy a nice square thing of burlap from one of the merchants and take that with us. That way we can wrap the weapons in it and then bury it so that they're not right next to the dirt getting all corroded and stuff.
Yeah.
Sort of protects them a little bit.
Ustrak pauses his dealing with the guard at the gate for a minute and says, I understand this is the end of the line for you three. It's certainly been interesting to have you on as guards, although I can't say whether you saved us trouble or gave us more.
Oh, we definitely saved. I mean, we got all the stuff back and the bandits didn't steal any of it, and we kept you and your merchants from being eaten by trolls. So that was nice.
Yeah, what about that time with the trolls? You can't forget that.
Well, but that's where you cost us money.
Yeah, exactly. We cost money instead of your lives, which you still have. And also the bandits didn't get away with all of the merchant's stuff either, because we helped stop them too. So it was an overall success, I'd say. I'd say the AAA team performed admirably.
Well, that's up for debate, I'd say, but still, a deal's a deal. So here you are. You'll pay for the trip, and then he hands each of you 2 platinum coins.
Yay!
And I guess I'll have to find myself some new guards.
Plat, imagine that.
Imagine that. Whew.
Shabba, your platinum collection is growing rapidly.
Well, I gave a bunch of them away, but...
Oh, why'd you do that?
Because people needed help, and I didn't want to fight a dragon.
Well, that's lame.
This isn't going into party funds. We're just literally getting a plat.
You each get 2.
Or just each take it. Yep. I mean, I still have 16 plats, so imagine that. I mean, it's not bad.
I have less than half the number of plat as you.
Well, I have 20 plats, so there.
Dang.
So as you're going about and making your plans with your weapons, you also notice that one of your fellow caravan guards reaches into his bag and pulls out an official-looking envelope to present to the soldiers, but the rest of the guards start removing their scabbards and unstringing their bows.
One of them has a permit. Weird.
Interesting, okay. Which one? Is it the one that we knew his name?
No, just one of the other guards you never got to know.
Nice. Good for him. We should go to the office and get permits.
Yeah, we could look into getting permits, but why don't we stick with this solution for now, just in case?
Yep.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely do that for now, but I mean, if we get permits, all you have to do is snap your fingers and problem solved.
I'll also say, Azlo, that this whole weapons rule is new to you. So the last time you were here, there were no particular laws against average citizens carrying around the standard weapons. Maybe large pole arms or similar weapons of war, but nothing like this.
Are there any anti-magic laws that we know of?
Not that the guards are announcing.
Do you think this is because of, and Tokas lowers his voice, maybe because of Lady Kronwald's death? Because her husband has a lot of pull in this city. Maybe they passed some new laws because of her death?
It could be. I don't know. I mean, I would be surprised that, it was at a show where it involved throwing daggers, so...
Yeah, if you think about it, the only type of weapon that's not banned is probably the type that killed his wife. Like, if you're throwing knives, then they're probably, pretty short, So, I don't know if that makes logical sense, but who knows? Could be.
Something's different about this city from last time. That's all we know.
Yeah, there's a different kind of smell in the air. Not sure what it is.
I think that's raw sewage.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They did rip out the sewer lines, I heard, and just let the sewage flow freely in the streets.
They took out the aqueducts.
Yeah.
Beautiful city. Beautiful.
They thought, this is too efficient and too clean. Let's just take this out altogether.
Of note, I was rereading Weapon Bond since we're doing this. I forgot that it makes it so I cannot be disarmed of the weapon unless I'm incapacitated.
Wow.
It makes me nigh undisarmable.
Undisarmable.
That's pretty sick.
That's crazy. Crazy.
It's definitely something very easy to forget about as a perk for being an Eldritch Knight.
It doesn't come up super often, but yeah.
Well, there are things that'll disarm you. There was that one spell that Thane used on us from the Quaggoths, right? Where he heated up my armor and our metal weapons. Although I guess you would voluntarily let go of it in that regard.
Exactly.
Right.
But I'm sure there are disarm effects.
But nonetheless, I mean, it's still great that you can just drop it and then still recall it whenever it's cooled down or whenever the situation acquires it. A lot of times during combat, you have to drop a weapon and then move somewhere else.
Yeah, there's a option with the one fighter variant, the disarming attack, where you can spend one of your superiority dice to make them drop something.
Tactician or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it's called, the Battle Master.
Battle Master, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's monsters in D&D that do some sort of disarms.
Yeah, probably.
Otherwise, it's like a very worthless thing for Weapon Bond to have.
Right.
Probably something. I don't know of any in 5th edition, so
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
definitely not common.
Yeah.
All right. So, we carry on into the city.
Yeah.
Okay, so after you've left and you've spent an hour changing your weapons and burying, probably another half hour or so digging it up and finding a good spot to bury them, you make your way back to the city and pass through the gate, check all your weapons. You notice this city is laid out in a pretty straightforward manner. There are long, straight cobblestone streets lined with inns, shops, stables, and homes, many of which slightly overhang the roadway. Most of the townsfolk are human, but there seems to be a sizable population of dwarves and halflings as well, and you even spot a few of the more unusual races, like dragonborn and half-orcs.
Huh.
It's a very diverse city.
Diversity.
Diversity.
At this point, it's getting pretty late, especially since you stayed out an extra hour plus.
All right, so then we find an inn to bed down for the night.
Okay, are you thinking higher end, low end, medium?
Well, we did just each get 2 plats.
Yeah, so definitely the
Medium.
dingiest,
Yeah, the
low-end
shabbiest
place.
piece of garbage place in town.
Tokas is I'm feeling medium. That's my vote.
Tokas is feeling pretty medium.
Yeah. Yeah, Azlo's going to splurge a little bit and go average.
I'm talking like a nice Holiday Inn type of situation.
Like even a decent motel would do it for sure.
Yep. The Super 8 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Remember though, we always got to keep watch, even in our hotel rooms.
Yeah, apparently.
Because the cult is always watching.
So you'd end up at an inn called the Yellow Finch.
The Yellow
It's a nice medium level inn.
Sweet.
All right.
You know, 5th to 6th level, somewhere in there. On your way over there, just before you get to the inn, Shabba, as you pass by a notice board, you can't help but notice an old, weathered piece of parchment stuck on the corner and half covered by other postings, bearing the likeness of one halfling friend you've come to know so well.
Uh-oh.
And you see some words written beneath the portrait as well.
I rip that parchment off of that sign board and eat it.
Okay, do you read it first?
No, I chew it real good.
I'm guessing there were some words at the bottom of the thing that the DM was wanting you to read.
I'll just telepathically understand what it says.
Learn it through osmosis.
Absorb them as you devour
Right,
it.
through osmosis as I eat them. Yeah, sure, I'll read it.
It says, a 3,000 gold piece reward is offered for the capture or proof of death of Aslodius Tendertoe for the murder of Lady Grunwald.
Wow.
Dang. Tokas, my bow, please.
It looks as though the reward value has been scratched out and increased several times.
Whoa.
Wow.
Dang.
3,000.
But this parchment is pretty old.
No wonder Gul'dan and Zestim were on their way to another country to find you.
But Shabba's the only one who sees this?
Yeah.
Shabba's at first thought is, I could do a lot of things with 3,000 gold. And his second thought is, what are you doing? No, of course not. Of course not. He would never do that to Azlo.
But there's so much.
Right. You have Stripey on one shoulder and then...
I've Angel Stripey on one shoulder and Devil Stripey on the other.
Think of all the badger treats, Shabba. All the badger treats you could buy.
No, I do try to be surreptitious about it, though. Like, if we're walking, I'll, lag behind a few steps and pull it off and read it to myself real quick and fold it up and put it in my pocket. Because I don't want to set Azlo ill at ease. I don't want him to be, super nervous or worried. I mean, we've got enough to be nervous about with facing Felmandar. I don't want him to have to think about that, too.
So you're just going to take down all the posters, all the wanted signs we see?
It's just one. He said it's old. It's sort of behind some other stuff. So it's it's been a while. It's been a whole year. So it's probably not the first thing that's out there, you know.
Yeah. Although there might still be some others scattered around the city. Probably are some.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait until Azlo notices them on his own, because I don't want to put that on his plate right now.
Okay. And if I remember correctly, you were planning on using Disguise Self on your way in, right?
Yeah, I think whenever, especially in this city, for sure.
Yeah.
I have the disguise already on, and then casting Disguise Self once every hour to stay disguised.
Too bad you don't have the Mask of Many Faces. That thing's awesome.
That's true.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
I've heard it does exist on this plane of existence.
It does. My character in our bonus campaign on Patreon has it.
Wait, there's a bonus campaign? How can I listen and watch that?
Wait, there's a Patreon?
Yeah, there's both a Patreon and a bonus campaign. The bonus campaign is on our Patreon page, which is, of course, patreon.com/damageguild. Go check it out.
Yeah.
So wait, that's a whole nother campaign we're doing?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about it.
It's a bonus campaign.
Only for patrons, believe it or not.
Only at the steel level and up, which is, and then there's all kinds of other rewards on there as well.
Yeah. I mean, you even DM'd for it, Sean.
That's right, and it was like a four episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We rotate DMs. It's a good time.
It was supposed to be a one-off.
We got our money's worth out of that one. No, it's mini arc, you know. They're flexible, malleable.
It's okay to go 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 episodes.
Actually, speaking of the bonus campaign, I was re-listening to it the other day, and I really liked what Jay did with his. That was quite enjoyable to re-listen to.
Nice. I've got some interesting ideas brewing for the next time I DM that one.
All right.
All right, moving on.
So, the Yellow Finch.
It's modest but comfortable. You each have your own room, or are you sharing a room together?
Sharing a room.
Yeah, it's
Yep, we
cheaper
gotta
if
share.
we share, so.
And safer.
And more defensible.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So you don't have any idea how long you're going to be here waiting for Felmandar, but let's say for food and place to stay, it'll cost you 12 silver a day each. So if you want to just track that while you're here.
12 silver a day each.
Yeah, that gets you one decently large room with multiple beds and all of your meals taken care of.
Okay, so that's each. All right, I'll go ahead and deduct that.
Do we have party gold?
We do, as a matter of fact. We could even split said party gold.
Or we could just pay for our room and board out of the party gold.
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
What kind of scratch are we talking about here?
Let's see. Now I'm trying to make sure that this is right here.
Well, we sure hope so.
Yeah, well, I have written down 57 platinum. Does that seem right?
What?
Thane? 249 gold, 3 silver, and 59 copper.
You sure we didn't split? What is that? All that from? Is that from when we did the
The troll quest?
yeah.
Trolls.
Yeah, I think that's got to be from the trolls. So you got some from the bandits last time, but not a whole lot.
Okay.
That seems like a lot of money.
It does. That's
It
what I've
is.
written down. But, yeah, I don't know.
Guys, we're staying at the wrong inn.
Yeah, I mean, there was 56 platinum, I think, that you found in the last one.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, so this is right. Okay.
Wow.
Because I think we had one plat left over in party gold.
Man, we need to we're reaching the part of the campaign where we have a reasonable amount of money. We should invest in something.
That's what I'm saying.
that's what that 5-foot plot of
Yeah,
land.
that 5 foot square.
No,
banana stand.
no, something that all of us can get behind, not just Shabba thinks is a good idea. All right, so what if we bought something related to our gear?
That's not an investment. That's a frivolous purchase.
What?
An investment is something. An investment is where you take money and you buy something with it that makes you more money. Right? That's an investment.
Okay.
Anything else is a purchase. Anything else
Sure.
you can only do 2 things with money. You can spend it and you can invest it, right?
So let's make an investment in our future livability, the odds that we live.
Our survivability.
Our survivability. Why don't we invest in our future survivability, Shabba?
But how? How so?
Well, you guys have skimped on armor upgrades, or at least one of you, right?
No, I have studded leather +1. Doesn't get any better than that for me, unless we find studded leather +2. You can't buy magical items.
I know. What about you, Brian?
I have probably skimped on my armor.
But you have studded leather now, and you don't You don't go into medium armor as a bard.
That's true. I could, actually, because I'm College of Swords. I believe I got proficiency with medium armor.
Well, but you start taking dex negatives, though, and that's the problem, even if you're proficient with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? Okay.
It doesn't hamper your dexterity. It just limits the amount of armor class you can get from it.
Right.
Yeah, so, okay. College of Swords, yes, I do get proficiency with medium armor. I mean, I could get a chain shirt. I could get half plate. That's medium armor. It's a measly 750 gold.
What's the dex limitation for half plate?
So it's armor class 15 plus dex mod, which is max 2.
Yeah.
So it would raise your armor class from 15 to 17.
If we got you some half plate,
Yeah.
Are there any other drawbacks to it?
Disadvantage on stealth.
it gives you disadvantage on stealth.
Okay, that's a pretty big disadvantage.
It is.
Yeah.
It is because you have invisibility that we've tended to use on you, and but at the same time, 2 armor class is 2 armor class.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's gonna it's not like he loses his other armor. If we were gonna do a stealth mission, he could just switch.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're carrying it around, and armor's heavy.
You can't really just switch, though. I mean, it takes a long time to take it off and put it on again.
But he's small. You're a halfling. We could shove your other armor set in the satchel.
12 by 18 inches by 6 inches? I don't think so.
Okay.
Plus, it still takes a long time to don and doff.
What's going to come up more in the campaign? Him having 2 more armor, or him dealing with the same thing that I already deal with when it comes to stealth?
Well, you get hit more than you need to make stealth checks, but making stealth checks is arguably more important than getting hit.
What about breastplate? What about we get him a breastplate?
Any medium armor, right, is...
No.
No, breastplate doesn't have the disadvantage.
Okay.
But it's 1 less armor, so that would be just a +1 to you overall, right?
Plus 1 armor class, 400 gold. Doesn't have the disadvantage on stealth.
400 gold.
I will also remind you just got some fancy Shadow Drake hide that you could potentially use for something like this.
Right.
That's right. We should, since we're in a big city, we should probably see someone about that.
Yeah, we need to see a man about a Shadow Drake.
Maybe we'll spend our gold on that and see what he can come up with.
Well, for now, why don't we divvy up the party gold, pay for our... What are we doing, 12 silver for just the first day? Is that what everybody's deducting right now?
Yeah.
All right.
Party gold divvying up. We have 19 platinums each.
Nice.
83 gold.
Okay.
I have added those things to my monies. Yeah, that's true. We do have those super sweet dragon scales.
Shadow Drake hide.
Shadow Drake hide.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure, like, some leather worker is going to get his hands on that and be like, I've never seen such a thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
He'll pay us to get to work.
To let him use it.
To let him use it and
let him work with it.
Work, you know. Well,
yeah.
we'll still pay some labor costs there. I mean, surely, he's taking some time out of his day, but like none of those silly upcharges where he's actually excited to work with that leather.
Oh yeah, the material. I mean, it's all us. It might even have some cool properties to it. Like it might even help you on stealth checks because it's so shadowy. Who knows?
All right. So we also had 1 silver each.
Okay.
Sweet.
And 19 copper each.
So 19 platinum pieces, 83 gold pieces, 1 silver, 19 copper.
Yep.
Added. All right. Yeah, I don't know how we had that much that we didn't divvy up before. Crazy.
It happens.
We just forgot to.
Yeah.
I mean, we did pay out all of our accomplices for the troll thing. So
Yeah, that's true.
all right. Well, so we keep watches and we sleep through the night.
All right.
So we have things to do, guys. We wake up in the morning, we grab some breakfast, some beefest, most important meal of the day. We've got some things to do. We've got to go down to the local office to get our weapons permits. We got to look up, what is his name? Torgrim, your orc buddy? I mean, your dwarf buddy?
Torgrin.
He's a dwarf, yes.
Wait, you have
Torgrim.
orc buddies?
No, just dwarf buddies.
Just dwarf buddies. You're Torgrin?
Torgrin.
Is that Torgrin?
Yeah.
All right, we got to look him up. Find a copy of the yellow pages, or the white pages.
I think Azlo would know whether or not he lives around here.
All right, it's your decision, Azlo. He did bust you out of the slammer.
Maybe last I heard, Torgrin did live around here, yeah. Of course, it's been a year, people move, lives change, but as far as I know, he's here.
And he is an accomplice to your escape. So
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I have no idea whether anybody found out about that or not.
You got separated as you were running away.
That's right. I remember it vividly, like it was yesterday.
All right. So, what is your plan in the morning exactly?
breakfast, Thane, breakfast.
Well,
It's the most important meal of the day, I said.
You know, funny story about that, Shabba. That phrase, that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, was circulated by breakfast companies, by like breakfast cereal companies. They just like came up with that and started telling it to people.
Well, it's a clear marketing slogan.
Yeah, exactly. It was purely just to sell more cereal. So
That's why we have breakfast for dinner at my house at least once every week or two. Because what's better than having one breakfast? Having two breakfasts.
that's breakfast is to you.
Breakfast is, yes. We break our fast regularly around here. So, if breakfast is not actually the most important meal of the day, then
What is?
And
what is? Right. Seriously, are you trying to tell me lunch is the most important meal? Give me a break. Lunch is for wusses, man.
Clearly, dessert is the most important meal of the day.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
I've also heard that the 3-meal structure is debatable as whether or not it's healthiest for us. Like,
Yeah.
That's true. Should be like 7 small desserts throughout the day, I've heard is.
I have heard that snacking is better. Also,
although
like,
snacking is really bad for your teeth because it takes like
So no matter what, you lose.
I think it takes about 1 to 2 hours after you finish a meal for your teeth to lose most of their acidity and stop being dissolved, unless you brush them.
Wow.
So if you're just constantly snacking throughout the day, then your teeth are constantly being dissolved.
right, you're
Whoa.
constantly having that extra, yeah. But I will say that, nope, I lost it.
Everything's bad for you, right? You can't win.
Yep, exactly.
You're born and then everything's trying to kill you. That's it.
Oh, no, we're mammals, so mammals, they're designed for feast and famine. So, it might even be better to have fewer than 3 meals a day. Like, that's where intermittent fasting comes in, where you have, like, one larger meal, and then you fast. So, there's science behind that as well that seems to suggest that that's better.
Interesting.
Note that the Damage Guild podcast is not a nutritional podcast, and we do not bear any responsibility for anyone who follows our advice.
Yeah, don't hurt yourselves because of the advice or non-advice we are giving.
Yeah, nothing we say can be used against us in a court of law. Just throwing that out there. That's how that goes, right?
Yeah. Your body does need food. Please continue to eat it. Thank you.
But not too much and not at the wrong times.
Yeah.
Or the wrong amount.
Or the wrong food. Or
Just eat the right food when you're supposed to, and everybody's going to be fine.
So now that you've had breakfast,
Yes. So we have 2 things. Anybody want to add to our to-do list? Weapons licenses and Torgrin. Anybody else? Anybody? Do we want to find the theater where Felmandar is performing, or is that too much for one day?
wait,
We definitely wanted to spend some time prepping for the big day.
Yeah.
But whether we do that today or not, we'll just see if we have time.
yeah, I mean, we have tons of time leading up to this, right? I think we want to get the hide worked on, too, as soon as possible. That might take days.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's 4 things. Yep.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
All right. So we've got 4 things to do. Which do we want to do first?
I'm most excited about the hide, aren't
Well,
you guys?
of course you are,
Yeah.
Tokas. But it's not the armor that's being made out of that's not even going to be for you.
I don't
It's gonna
care.
be for either Azlo or myself.
You think Tokas cares about that?
No, you just like armor.
I just- yeah,
in general,
like-
you just have a fascination with it.
I like the idea as a D&D player of like new interesting things. And I'm curious what Thane cooks up and like what if it's just like super lame and he's like, all right, we can turn this into studded leather.
Yeah. This is like the closest to Minecraft this podcast will ever get. So let's go see a man about some armor.
Yep, let's do it. All right, so you want to do the armor first?
Yeah. Only the
Okay,
finest and most expensive. No, wait, not most expensive. The finest leather worker in all the land of this land.
Armorer? Blacksmith?
Yeah, leather worker, because it's leather.
It's leather.
Yeah, so of course I go out on the street and just start grabbing random commoners and lifting them by the collar and saying, "Where is the finest leather worker in all the land?"
I don't know. Please put me down. Don't eat me.
Get out of here.
Shabba, you're drawing unwanted attention to us.
Oh, sorry.
That guy sounded just like the dockhand that you lifted up like way early in the podcast. He had like the same voice.
That's what happens when you lift humans up by their collars.
They all sound
the same.
All humans sound the same. Are you kidding me?
Shabba, that's kind of derogatory, and we're in a city filled mostly with humans. We shouldn't say that they all sound the same.
It's very racist of me to say that, but what can I say? It's true. Let's find some humans who actually know what's going on around here, like the visitor center. I go to the visitor center.
You could probably just look around at like the guilds and the workshop areas and find a leather worker.
Okay, or I grab a town guard by the collar and say, "Where is the nearest leather worker?"
But Shabba, we went through all the normal procedures. Like,
yeah, no, I won't do that. We'll make a gather information check, which should still be a skill. But it isn't.
I don't know that you really need to make a check for this. You'll find it eventually.
You know what I mean.
Yes.
Whether there's a die roll involved or not, we do what normal people do in a foreign city when they're looking for things. They ask people until they find someone who knows.
And you do indeed find a leather worker.
Oh boy, is it your lucky day. You never thought you'd see a trio like us walking through your door.
I actually think that Thane may have prepared for this because he knew that we had the Shadow Drake leather.
Yeah.
So I'm like imagining that right now he's looking through his own notes instead of a name generator website. Now, if I was DMing, I would be looking at a name generator website right now.
No, I did all my name generation a few hours ago, so that's all taken care of.
What's in a name anyway?
All right, so you arrive at Nalath's Tanning and Hides.
Ooh, do they have tanning beds too?
Not that kind of tanning. Although the actual tanning is probably done far outside of town because it smells absolutely foul.
Yeah.
So Nalath is tanning and then he hides. What is going on with this guy?
He wants to have crispy orange skin, and then he wants to run away.
That is strange behavior out of a person if I've ever heard of one. Well, it's your lucky day, Nalath, because we've got a special treat for you.
And we slam it on the table.
Wow.
Have a gander at this.
Boom.
You've never seen anything like the likes of this, like